What would you do if you were one step away from achieving the dream you have worked for a lifetime, and they told you you didn't deserve it? Tai Lung's story revolves around this very question. He is a warrior who trained to become a dragon warrior since he was a little boy, gave everything for it, and was finally denied the reward he was waiting for. But was he really right? Was his anger justified? Or were Shifu and Oogway showing him the truth? In this video, we will revisit Tai Lung's journey and question the fine line between justice and greed. Perhaps this time we will see him in a different light. Before we begin, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. When Tai Lung was left as a baby in a basket at the gate of the Jade Palace, his fate was perhaps already sealed. When Master Shifu saw this little baby leopard, he did more than adopt him. He raised him, trained him, and treated him like his own son. Tai Lung soon showed great skill in martial arts. He was so good that Shifu was sure he would become a dragon warrior, and Tai Lung believed it too. But it wasn't just about talent. The Dragon Scroll was an honor deserved not only for martial skill, but also for maturity of heart and soul. Master Oogway sensed the darkness in Tai Lung. His ambition overcame his desires. So when he was not chosen as a dragon warrior, it was not just a rejection for Tai Lung. It was a rejection of his whole life, of all his hard work. Tai Lung flew into a rage. He attacked the Jade Palace and tried to take the scroll by force, but was defeated and locked up in Chorgom prison. He stayed there for years, with anger and resentment building up inside him. But here, you have to stop and think. Was Tai Lung really evil? Or was he just a warrior whose dreams were taken away? Tai Lung's story is not just the rise and fall of a villain. It is also a lesson in justice, expectation, and disappointment. But let's ask, was Tai Lung really in the wrong? Imagine, as a child, how Shifu exalted him and made him believe that he would become the dragon warrior. His whole life was shaped to achieve a single goal, to get the dragon scroll and become a legendary warrior. He was talented, disciplined, and perhaps it seemed that he really deserved it. But when Master Oogway refused to give him the scroll, it was a moment of justice in his eyes. But was it injustice? Perhaps Oogway had seen the dark potential in Tai Lung, because with power comes humility and wisdom. Tai Lung had succumbed to the lust for power. But here we have to ask the question, is it fair to give someone a dream that they cannot achieve, and then take it away from them? Perhaps Tai Lung's anger stemmed not only from disappointment, but also from the fact that the expectations that had been placed on him for years were suddenly taken away. His story shows that sometimes the path to success is not only about talent, but also about the right intentions. But we are still left with a question. Did Tai Lung do wrong, or did the system set him up for failure? To better understand Tai Lung's story, it is instructive to compare him with other characters. Especially Po and Shifu are two important figures who shed light on Tai Lung's journey. Po was an ordinary panda with no talent in martial arts. When he was chosen as a dragon warrior, unlike Tai Lung, he had neither great training nor fighting skills. What Po did have, however, was an inner humility and a desire for self-discovery. He found his true power when he realized that the Dragon Scroll symbolized the potential in an ordinary man. When Tai Lung got hold of the scroll, he was angry that there was nothing inside. Perhaps therein lay the biggest difference. Tai Lung believed that power was hidden in an external object, while Po discovered that power was internal. As for Shifu, he also played a big part in Tai Lung's anger. Instead of giving Tai Lung unconditional love while raising him, Shifu constantly focused him on success and becoming a dragon warrior. Perhaps Shifu unwittingly fueled Tai Lung's ambition and turned him into a success machine. When we look at his relationship with Po, Shifu took a more flexible and supportive approach this time. He acknowledged Po's weaknesses and encouraged him to find his own path. This shows that Tai Lung's fall was not only his own fault, but also the result of Shifu's faulty parenting. On the one hand, Tai Lung, shaped by the destructive power of ambition and expectations, and on the other Po, who discovers his true strength through his own inner journey. Two different paths, two different outcomes. But which is the right one? Perhaps there is no single answer to this question. Tai Lung's story may look like the rise and fall of a villain on the surface, but it is a journey that holds a mirror up to all of us. We've all dreamed big dreams at some point in our lives. We've all strived for the goals we wanted to achieve. But what if we reach those goals only to realize that what we expected wasn't actually right for us? Or how would we feel if we were told from the beginning that we would never reach that goal? Tai Lung's anger is perhaps hidden somewhere inside all of us. The disappointment we feel when we have been wronged, when we work for years and are not rewarded. It was not these feelings that made him bad, it was what he did with them. Because life is not only about talent and effort, but also about the kind of person we are, the way we cope, and our inner balance. Po showed the importance of humility and self-belief in discovering inner strength. Tai Lung, on the other hand, made his biggest mistake by believing that power is an external reward. Perhaps the point is that true strength lies not in external validation, but in the balance we find within ourselves. In the end, Tai Lung was neither completely right nor completely wrong. He was a reflection of what it is to be human, with its flaws and disappointments. We can all be a little Tai Lung. What matters is what we do with that anger. It is easy to see Tai Lung's story as just a movie character. But when we think a little deeper, his experience can be familiar to all of us. Sometimes in life, no matter how hard we strive for what we want, the outcome may not be what we want. Then we have to face the questions. What will I do if I don't get what I think I really deserve? Or, does failure define me, or is it just a stepping stone? Tai Lung faced disappointment and rejection with anger. But can we choose a different path when we face the same situations? Should we see failure as an end or a new beginning? Another important lesson is about expectations. One of Tai Lung's biggest misconceptions was the weight of both his own expectations and the high hopes that Shifu placed on him. We can all be crushed at times by the expectations placed on us by family, society, or ourselves. But the important question is, are we able to move beyond these expectations to forge our own path? Perhaps one of life's greatest lessons is to measure our self-worth not by external rewards, but by our inner peace. Tai Lung failed to realize this, but we can learn from his story. Ultimately, Tai Lung's story finds a place in all our lives, with its mistakes, ambitions, disappointments. Understanding his story is an opportunity to understand ourselves. And perhaps most importantly, the path to success sometimes lies not in the goals we fail to reach, but in who we are on the way to that goal. What about you? If you were in Tai Lung's shoes, would you have acted as he did, or would you have chosen a different path? Do you think Tai Lung was right, or was this just the result of uncontrollable ambition? Share your thoughts, because maybe we all have different lessons to learn from this story. Let's meet in the comments.